Look, I'm getting out. I don't care what happens to her. She's your girlfriend. You take care of her. I'm getting the hell out of here right now.
Tatra amistrobin hazarta. Tattir mano mantizon haldam soba.
Sam Raimi's Evil Dead, the original Evil Dead, came out in the early 80s and was classified part of the video nasty era in the UK on VHS. It didn't come out, it got cut up a lot, but it didn't come out fully uncut until 2001 on Anchor Bay's original DVD. This is this one here, and if you don't know the story of Evil Dead, basically there's 5 kids that go out to a cabin for a weekend for a getaway, and they play back a mysterious tape recorder found in the basement, where they find the Kandarian dagger, which is part of the Kandarian demons. It's not a zombie film, but when they play back the tape, people start getting possessed and getting attacked when they're called out into the woods, and people get attacked by trees. One woman does anyway. That's Ash's sister in the film. Ash is played by Bruce Campbell in one of his earliest films he's known for. And one by one they're all getting possessed and turning into demons, and they're trying to handle all this by dismembering them or chucking them into the cellar, locking them down there, and hopefully they'll get back to normal again and see through the night. Ash has a girlfriend called Linda, his main love, and she plays a part in this, which she'll play a part in the second one as well. But in the meantime, the first Evil Dead, the demons are disposed of by cutting them up, lopping off their heads with spades and cutting them up with axes, and putting them in work shares and contemplating cutting them up with a chainsaw and all work tools. It's got a sense of humour as well, but censors didn't really see that and started cutting the whole thing up left, right and centre. And as I said, it was part of the video nasty era, so a lot of the time, a lot of films like Cannibal Holocaust and Driller Killer and all sorts of video nasties, zombie flesh eaters as well, they were getting taken off the shelves and banned. This was actually banned for a bit as well, which Sam Raimi came to the UK to defend the film and to defend it in court, and even went on television, late night television, to defend his film, which he did, and which he did really well. But a lot of people weren't having it at the time, thinking it was a massive witch hunt, crazy media hype and everything over this gory film. It is gory, yes, I'll give it that. It's got a sense of humour, yes it has. Is it well acted? Not brilliantly acted or anything like that, but it's 85 minutes of basically non-stop demon possessions and jumps and gore, as I mentioned, and Evil Dead is basically full of that. The DVD came out in 2001 from Anchor Bay. Very nice. Show the gatefold there. The DVD itself has quite a few extra features on there. I'll go through them. The extra features on this version, it's in 16:9, 5.1 surround sound, US trailer, audio commentary number 1 by Sam Raimi and producer Robert Tabbert, and audio commentary with star Bruce Campbell. Now this was an early version of the film, which came out on DVD, so you could probably expect less features on here, but as time went on it's come on. There's been a Book of the Dead version, which I'll show you in a minute, which is a collector of many people's, and it's also come out on Blu-ray with loads of features as well, and it's become a lot more tamer with the censors over the years. The Book of the Dead version, which I've shown briefly on this channel before, is here. It's got like a rubbery front, and it's perfectly designed like the book which we see in the film, which I forgot to mention, in which bring the demons back to life. If you look at the art inside, it's pretty much reminiscence of the film itself by the original artist. Book of the Dead. There's a booklet there. The booklet, Evil Dead. Quite detailed, tells you how they made the film and basically behind the scenes and everything, and going on about the video nasty era and everything when it was on VHS. Japanese laser disc there. Just put that back in there a second. Very, very good, this Book of the Dead version. Should really pick this up. I don't know how rare it is now, but I know it can go quite expensive as well. Got the chapter selection in there as well. Put the booklet back. And the special features we get on here, it is in 16.9, audio commentary by Sam Raimi and Robert Tabbitt like originally, audio commentary by Bruce Campbell like we had originally, behind the scenes footage and outtakes, fan analysis, an all new 26-minute documentary by Bruce Campbell. We've got a documentary on here called Discovering Evil Dead, all new featurette tracing the film's history from its humble beginnings to legendary status. Theatrical trailer, TV spots, poster stills, gallery and talent bios, and it's in English and French and THX, Digital Master Sound, DTS. And not only that, there's a few Easter eggs on here, so if you click around on the menus, you'll find some hidden bonus features there as well. The Blu-ray versions, I believe, have all the new extra features and all the main features on here. Anything else to add to Evil Dead apart from being a classic? It was remade or reimagined in 2013. It was followed by Evil Dead 2 in 1987, which was followed by Army of Darkness in 1993, which is a totally different film in itself. It's an 18th certificate because of gore and violence and everything. And as Christmas rolls on, as we roll through Christmas and what I've been doing through November anyway, I've been tracing a few Dead films, all the spin-off films and everything. But Evil Dead is not a zombie film or anything like that. It's a possession film with demons, with gore, splatter effects, like I said, jump cuts and everything. And Evil Dead pretty much sums up Evil Dead, that does. But the original is the best. A lot of people will say that. Mr. Safe and Secure 1 loves Evil Dead, the original. He said the second one was okay, and he found that the Army of Darkness was a bit tame. And fans have gone on to say that the remake of Evil Dead, some people like it, some people don't. But if you're an old school fan, then I can see why you would prefer Evil Dead, the original, over the remake, which came out this year in 2013, April 2013. Evil Dead, we're going to get you. Join us. Memorable scenes from the films, and memorable performance from Bruce Campbell as he got getting all bloodied up towards the end of the film, as Sam Raimi likes to punish him. And there's another thing about Sam Raimi, he's got his trademark camera angles as well, where twisted camera angles, zooming in points of views of the demons as they come into the cabin and chasing Bruce Campbell here, there and everywhere. And Evil Dead, also a shout out to Horror Retrospective, who's also an Evil Dead fan, and my friend Anthony McVeigh, who loves Evil Dead of Mitsuka Studios. Of course, Evil Dead is a classic. Book of the Dead, the original version. I should also check out the Blu-ray version one time, but I'll get around to that another day. But Evil Dead in the meantime, pick it up. It's a classic. Thumbs up. Evil Dead 2 is the sequel to Sam Raimi's highly successful horror film Evil Dead, or The Evil Dead, or Evil Dead 1. This one came out in 1987 and recently came out on Blu-ray, probably the most ultimate edition yet. And I'm glad it did, because there are tons of new extra features on this, and you should really check this out. The extra features are a commentary with Sam Raimi, actor Bruce Campbell, co-writer Scott Spielg, and special effects artist Greg Nicotero. Again, we have a new Swallowed Souls, the making of Evil Dead 2, new Cabin Fever, behind the scenes featurette, and new revisiting the location to Evil Dead 2. As part of the old features on here, you get the behind the screens, making of ED2, Evil Dead, theatrical trailer, photo galleries, ads and memorabilia, more behind the scenes, makeup, and the stop motion. And this film does combine practical effects with stop motion, as well as loads of bloody, over the top, comic book like gore, done by K&B Studios. As we know, Greg Nicotero again. Also, the film stars Bruce Campbell, who comes back, and it starts off like retelling the original story, but they couldn't get the rights to the footage of the original film, which was often the case, and they kind of retell the story with Linda, his girlfriend, and how she gets possessed and taken away, and how he has to decapitate her, and he has to try and kill her because she won't die for the sake of peace and love and everything like that. And he also equips himself with a chainsaw. Bruce Campbell gets possessed himself, and also gets his hand possessed as well. I can't remember which one it is, but his hand gets possessed and it starts attacking him, so he has to chop it off with a chainsaw, and that's how crazy this film is. In the meantime, other travellers have stumbled upon the cabin which this is based from the original film, and they're all caught up in the madness too, and they're basically more victims to get possessed and more killing and more blood to ensue. Sam Raimi did make the blood all kinds of different colours in this to avoid the MPAA, is it, from clamping down on him and telling him off and cutting the film and everything like that. Speaking of being cut, there are deleted scenes. There have been scenes deleted from this, and I need to check to see if they are on the Blu-ray or anything like that. But there's scenes where other possessed souls have been cut up on the floor and with green blood, and that happens to one of the characters in this. There was a work print of this as well, where it showed you different alternative scenes as well, and different things happening in this. But as far as I know, cutting up the possessed guy with the green blood demon thing, that footage is long lost now, as far as I know. But there was a version of this shown on Mexican TV a long time ago, which I've seen clips of it on YouTube, which shows you alternative scenes and longer cut scenes and different takes on things. And but Sam Raimi cut this down to about 80 odd minutes to keep it at a fast paced level, and that's what you get with it. It runs at about, see if it says on here, 84 minutes, which I think is a bit longer than what it usually is, because I think it's usually about just under 80 minutes, if I remember correctly, for when it was out on its previous releases. It has been on DVD. There has been a Book of the Dead version of this as well, and it's only a 15. It used to be an 18, but obviously over the years things get tamer, and obviously censors get a bit more laid back. But it's what they consider probably like a high 15, because like Land of the Dead, that was a 15 when that came out in the cinema, yet it's unrated and an 18 cut on DVD itself on Blu-ray. Highlights of Evil Dead 2 probably are probably the practical effects by K&B Studios, and they have like a possessed old woman again in the cellar called Henrietta, who is the wife of the professor who talks on the audio reel that helps bring back the dead in the first place when Bruce Campbell plays it back. And Henrietta is played by Sam Raimi's brother Ted Raimi when she's possessed, and she goes on a rampage, and it's when the characters aren't getting along or anything like that, they end up throwing like the original book pages down into the cellar, where they need to get the pages and say the spell and cast the evil back and everything. And Bruce Campbell has to go into the cellar now with his hand chopped off and replaced with a chainsaw to try and retrieve them again. And sending the evil back, I think most people have seen this anyway, it causes a vortex in which everything starts getting sucked back in time, which leads up to the sequel, Army of Darkness, aka Evil Dead 3, Army of the Medieval Dead. But Evil Dead 2, that pretty much sums it up, and it's definitely a comedy horror, or just a really grotesque comedy, really grotesque horror, which is really over the top. And some people have criticised it in the past for saying it's nothing like the original, but in a sense it is a bit like the original, because the original was really over the top as well. And it's not technically a zombie film or anything like that, but it is a dead film, an infamous one. And it's probably one of Sam Raimi's better old horror films, in my opinion. After this, he went on to direct films like Darkman and then Army of Darkness. In more recent years, he's done Oz, the Great and Powerful, and also produced TV series like Hercules and Xena and all kinds of stuff. And he produced the direct-to-video Darkman films as well, with his partner Robert Tabbert. And Robert Tabbert, I assume he produces this as well. Yes, he does. The music again is by Joseph Loduca, who did the original, and also helped do the score for Army of Darkness, aka Evil Dead 3. But in the meantime, check out Bruce Campbell, directed by Sam Raimi, in Evil Dead 2, aka Dead by Dawn. This is Army of Darkness, the third instalment in the Evil Dead films, in the original trilogy anyway. Came out in about 1992, 1993. This one's a lot different, which followed on from Evil Dead 2, where Ash got sucked into a vortex and basically ended up in the medieval times facing the medieval dead. This one's quite a fun film, but a bit flawed, and compared to the first two Evil Dead films, this isn't the strongest in the Evil Dead film franchise entries. But basically Bruce Campbell has been sucked back in time. He's facing these knights, damsels in distress, deadites, skeletons, Ray Harryhausen like stop motion skeleton sort of thing, and practical effects basically. He's trying to get back to his time and has to contact Merlin and Merlin the magician, and there's two fighting armies against each other, and he's in the middle of all this, as well as the chaos of the evil deadite spirits trying to take over the land. Now Ash, aka Bruce Campbell, has to retrieve the Necronomicon. He has to do this and say the right words to get back to his own time in the 90s sort of thing, back to his girlfriend, sweetheart sort of thing, and turn back time and have an happy ending. Bruce Campbell, aka Ashley, says the words wrong and makes the powerful deadites even stronger. There's even a part where an evil Ash comes to lead the army of the dead against the castle walls and try to destroy the good armies, as well as Ash himself. But it's just up to Ash now to try and destroy all that's evil and return good to its natural state. That's Army of Darkness sort of thing, and there's less gore in this. There are gory, well, bloody effects in this, but the blood's kind of darkened a little bit. There's a pit sequence as well towards the beginning of the film where Ash gets thrown into a pit where a Deadite hiding, a female witch, horrible zombie Deadite is hiding, and the only way he can fight it is by trying to get his chainsaw back, which has been locked off in Evil Dead 2. His hand has been locked off, and he uses the stump of his hand basically to hold the chainsaw. You'll see more of that in Ash vs Evil Dead. This one comes in a 2-disc edition, the director's cut as well, sort of thing. If you can see there, if you can see it alright in that light. The director's cut is nearly 2 hours long. Adds more atmosphere, adds more scenes, otherwise it's a less than 90-minute film, basically. Ash on the Adult Deceiver, aka Evil Dead 3, is trapped in time, surrounded by evil. It was only a 15, and maybe it would be considered a 12 these days, in all fairness. But the special features, the US theatrical trailer we get here, the original ending, exclusive behind-the-scenes featurette, the men behind the army, narrated by Bruce Campbell, and talent bios, some deleted scenes, etc, etc. There was an alternative ending to this film where Ash didn't get back. Well, they're in spoiler territory now. There's 2 endings basically. One where Ash gets back to his time, says the words right, and the second one where he says the words kind of wrong again when he's trying to do this magic potion thing he's been given to him by Merlin, and he ends up falling asleep too long at the end of the film and ends up in the apocalypse, with the world's gone to chaos, and that's keeping more in tone with the Evil Dead films, more like. But this one was kind of really, I think it was ignored when it came to the likes of Ash vs Evil Dead, the series, which came out in 2015. Ash vs Evil Dead is on this channel, and you can quickly look at that if you want to, but that's up to about season 3 so far. But Army of Darkness, quite a fun film. I would say it's a fun film. More of a mainstream sort of feel to it, for it to actually get released by Universal in a day, sort of thing. De Laurentiis kind of had something to do with it, like he did in, like when he funded Evil Dead 2 sort of thing. So it was going for a lot more of a mainstream kind of feel to it, and feel good factor to it. The skeletons and the stuff like that are quite fun. Reminds you of the old Ray Harryhausen film sort of thing. And again, Sam Raimi uses his infamous camera angles to try and get that Evil Dead kind of touch sort of thing. But Army of Darkness, I give it about 2.5 out of 5. Sorry, even pushing a 3 sort of thing. It's an entertainment film. Maybe one you might not come back to all the time, but it has got some good lines in there, like "Yo, she bitch" sort of thing, and "Give me some sugar, baby," and the lines are kind of umped up a bit in the script in this film for Bruce Campbell to say, basically. So that's my look at Army of Darkness. Take care, guys. Enjoy the videos. See you soon. Bye. This here is a vinyl figure model kit of Ash from Army of Darkness. In the background, an Evil Dead poster. This was from LA originally, and I don't think I've got it anymore because of a big move and getting rid of a load of stuff. So that was my Ash from Army of Darkness. You can see me here in an Evil Dead t-shirt, classic Evil Dead t-shirt, just goofing about. Yeah, definitely an Evil Dead fan.